Have you ever seen a woman's world collapse piece by piece, until she is left with nothing but scars, and yet from those scars, she builds a crown of strength? This is the story of Aisha, a young woman who once believed marriage was her fairy tale, only to be dragged into a nightmare of betrayal and violence. In the beginning, life seemed perfect. Aisha was radiant, newly married to Fahad, the man her family had praised endlessly. He was wealthy, charming, confident, the kind of man who made heads turn wherever he went. In the first months, he showered her with perfumes, jewelry, candlelit dinners, and sweet promises. Neighbors would say, "She is the luckiest bride, her life is set." And Aisha, with stars in her eyes, believed it too. But behind the polished smile of her husband hid a shadow. Fahad was secretive with his phone. His late-night meetings stretched longer, and the warmth in his eyes for her began to fade. At first, Aisha ignored the red flags. She told herself it was work, stress, the usual burdens of a busy man, until the day she saw him at a cafe, hand in hand with another woman, laughing the kind of laughter he no longer shared with her. That woman's name was Sarah, bold, fearless, the type who made sure Aisha knew she existed. When she confronted Fahad that night, she expected denial or at least guilt. Instead, she saw rage. His hand struck her face so hard that she collapsed to the ground, stunned by the betrayal and the sting. That was the first slap. The slaps did not stop. Every time she mentioned Sarah, every time she demanded respect, his hand rose. 10 slaps turned to 30. 30 turned to 50. By the end of their marriage, Aisha had endured 100 blows each, one a cruel reminder that the man she loved valued his mistress more than her dignity. Sarah whispered venom at social gatherings. "He belongs to me, not you." And the worst part was Fahad never denied it. Her parents pleaded, "Be patient. Every marriage has struggles. Endure it for the sake of your honor." Society whispered, "A woman's duty is to tolerate." Aisha swallowed her tears, wore makeup to hide the bruises, and told herself she could survive. But deep inside, her soul was cracking. One stormy night, Fahad stumbled home drunk, lipstick smeared across his collar. When she questioned him, he sneered, "You're nothing without me. Who would even want you?" And once again he raised his hand. But this time, Aisha's trembling fingers grabbed his wrist. Mid-air, with tears streaming down her face. Her voice broke but carried steel. "Enough! Fahad, you can break my body, but you will never break my soul." The next morning, she packed a small bag and walked away. She left behind wealth, status, and a house that felt like a prison. She chose the unknown path of freedom. Life after divorce was brutal. Relatives turned cold. Friends avoided her, whispering behind her back. Landlords hesitated to rent to a divorced woman. She survived in a tiny rented room, living on tea and bread, tutoring children to pay her bills. Some nights she broke down, whispering to herself, "Why me? What sin did I commit?" Other nights, she clenched her fists and promised, "One day they will know my worth." That promise became her fire. She enrolled in business classes, worked 2 jobs, and poured every ounce of energy into building something of her own. With the little savings she had, she launched a small online clothing store. At first, orders were scarce. Customers doubted her, but Aisha designed every piece with love, wrote thank you notes to every buyer, and worked sleepless nights. Slowly, her honesty and dedication began to shine. Her store grew, her name began to circulate, and within a few years, she became a respected entrepreneur. It was at a business seminar that her fate twisted again. There she met Ibrahim, a well-known CEO in the tech industry. Unlike Fahad, he didn't interrupt her when she spoke. He didn't belittle her dreams. Instead, he leaned forward, listening intently, asking her questions, admiring her courage. At first, Aisha resisted his kindness. Her wounds had not fully healed. Trusting another man felt impossible. But Ibrahim's patience was different. He never rushed, never pressured. Slowly, he earned her trust. Months passed, and every interaction with Ibrahim chipped away at the walls around her heart. He saw her not as a broken woman, but as a fighter who had risen from ashes. Finally, one evening, in front of colleagues and friends, Ibrahim took her hand and said, "Aisha, you are the strongest woman I've ever known. I don't want to own you. I want to stand beside you. Will you allow me to love you as you deserve?" For the first time in years, her tears were not of pain but healing. She whispered yes. Their wedding was nothing short of a dream. Aisha wore a dazzling red gown, her head held high, a crown resting upon her hair. She walked beside Ibrahim with grace, not as a broken wife, but as a queen. The world admired her strength and her journey. But among the crowd stood Fahad, alone. His mistress, Sarah, had long abandoned him when his money and charm faded. He watched Aisha, radiant and cherished, arm in arm with a man of dignity. His chest tightened with regret. The woman he had slapped 100 times, the woman he had called worthless, was now celebrated, respected, and deeply loved. He whispered to himself, I had a diamond in my hand, but I treated her like dust. Aisha never looked his way. Her past no longer chained her. She had turned her scars into strength, her humiliation into power, and her loneliness into love. Her story became a symbol, a reminder that no matter how many times life beats you down, you can rise again. It was not just about revenge, it was about transformation. She was living proof that endings can become new beginnings, and broken wings can learn to fly again. So if you are listening to this, remember, your worth is not defined by someone else's cruelty. You are stronger than you think, and your future can be brighter than your past. And before I end, let me ask you once more, what did Aisha's journey teach you? Please share your feelings in the comments below because your voice matters. And don't forget to support Whispers of Kindness. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to our channel. Together we can keep telling stories that heal, inspire, and remind us all that kindness always wins.